Okay, I have to change the permission. I have to quit and reopen Mac permission issues. So okay, I'll just rejoin.
Actually, you might be using Mac only, right?
Yeah, I'm using Mac only. That's why it's showing
I think
to.
you need to quit and reopen. Like with Mac, there is an issue about screen period.
No, there isn't any issue. Like it's a, I changed the permission, the preference. That's why it's
See,
showing
I
me
think
to
like you
quit it.
might be using Mac first. You might be using Zoom for the first time on Mac, so you will have to quit and reopen, join the meeting.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah. Sure.
So yeah, hello, while I'm sharing my screen. This is visible, right?
Yes, it's visible.
Okay. So the topic of the talk is my journey from an open source contributor to an SDN intern, right? So how I got started with open source and how I got the internship, right? So first of all, my background, like I told you, I'm Ritesh Aggarwal, IT fourth year. I'm an SDN intern at Cred. I think you guys must have heard about Cred, the most talked startup right now in India. If not, just watch IPL today. Okay, so I was a GSoC community mentor at Aussie. I was mentoring a project that was an Android project. That is Agora Android. We are going to launch it soon in Play Store, right? And I was the GSoC community student at Aussie, but that project was on React Native. That was carbon footprint. Okay. Okay. So would you think these things, these have in common, like Python, Wikipedia, VLC, Git, Android? Would you guys think these have in common? Like, let's make it a bit interactive. Are participants allowed to switch on their mic? Okay, chat.
Yeah, they can.
These are all open source.
These are all open source. Good. So, what do you mean by open source? What
is available for everyone.
So there are many software which are available for everyone. What is the difference between open source?
So I mean, the working code, the code which is built upon is available for everyone.
We can contribute to this project too.
Yes. So what is open source? Open source is something that is openly available to everyone. Like you can go and see their code, you can contribute to their project and everything, right? If you will, I think you must know like Wikipedia is open source, Android that we use, that is open source. That is why we have many custom ROMs. Like we can build our own custom ROM itself. Mozilla, that is also like open source. VLC is open source, right? And these we have these codes. Like I'll show you. We have this one. This ROG Setu app that is open source again. Like you can go through the whole code, what all they are using and everything. You can even contribute. You can see that issues are open and pull requests are open, right? You can go and check them out. So this is an open source software. So these all are open source. These are open source, and many of them are 1 million plus users, right? I think you guys must have used Mozilla or have Android phones or something. And many good developers, many fantastic developers, they are giving their time to, and contributing this project and maintaining this projects, right? So what if you could work with people like that? What if you get a chance to work with people who work in Android, who work in Mozilla, the browser that I'm using is Mozilla Firefox, right? So what if you get a chance to contribute to that project itself? So people who can help level you up, become a much better developer in a short span of time. What if you could work on a project like that on VLC, Arduino, and all out of your comfort zone with the right mentorship? Like there will be a mentor who will be mentoring you what to do, what not to do, and everything. And you will be growing as a developer. So apart from all this, what if you get to earn as much as $1,500 for your work within 25 to 35 hour commitment? Like when I was doing, it was $3,000, but now it is $1,500. But that is again okay for a college student, right? So you are getting a chance to learn, to explore, and you are getting a stipend as well. Here comes Google Summer of Code. I think that should. Yes. So what is Google Summer of Code? You do not need to crack it. That there isn't any competition you have to crack it, right? This is a program. This is an open source program that is directly funded by Google. Do not ask anyone question like how to crack Google Summer of Code. You are not going to crack it. Open source is not about cracking. Open source is about contributing, right? So this is a 10-week open source project funded by Google, and you get to work on exciting new projects with amazing organizations. Like I told you, Mozilla, they have Mozilla, Android Gradle, and there are many more, right? You will get to learn a lot. Trust me, you'll get to learn a lot, and you will earn a great stipend also, and all from the comfort of your home. So this is something which is very exciting to me, which was very exciting to me as well. When I was in college, I was in first year actually, and I got to know about this Google Summer of Code by SFD itself. Like as I remember, I think Akshay Bhaiya was there and Pranav Bhaiya. And I got to know about this Google Summer of Code in SFD. They were giving talk on Google Summer of Code, and I got to learn. Then I explored. I pinged them. So that is a different story. Okay. What is GSoC? So what is GSoC? Okay. So students participate with an open source organizations, and you are paired with a mentor, right? You will be contributing to a particular project, and you will be paired with a mentor who will guide you, who will review your changes, who will do everything. You will be getting in touch with him or her for the whole time, and he will tell you what you should do, what you should not do, and you will be reviewing your changes and everything, and you will be earning a stipend after completing the whole project. So you can gain what we do. We build a project, right? You guys must build project, your personal project. So what you do, you build a project and you use it yourself. There is not where you will not gain real world experience, because your project, your product is not being used anywhere, right? And this is very much important, that your project should be used in a let's say in a vast area, or like should be many guys. So then only you will get feedback now. So it is you in Google Summer of Code, you gain real world experience, learn the importance of contributing and being a community, right? And from my experience, I'll tell you, apart from these experience, what I learned was that during Google Summer of Code, we were added into a group, and in that group, many students were there who are from IITs, who are from NITs, who are foreign students, and those all are very, very good students. Like you will get to interact with them, you will get to learn a lot from them, right? So and obviously you will gain confidence if in open source, if you are contributing to a particular project, and in your if a single line of code is getting added in the code base now, that will gain a lot of confidence in you. Trust me, that will gain a lot of confidence. So that is about Google Summer of Code. So now what do we need? What are the basics that we need to start with? So the first one is Git. Yes, Git is very, very important. If you do you guys know about Git? Like anyone who is aware of Git? Anyone?
Yes, especially through GitHub.
Yeah. GitHub and Git are different. Git is a version control system, and GitHub is different. GitHub is where we store. You can call it a cloud or something where we store the things. And Git is something we use. We use as a version control system. We'll build a project. You will get the importance of Git. So Git is very vast. You do not to need. You need not to know everything. You should know how to fork a repo, how to make a pull request, how to make branch, how to rebase, and everything. Like Git basic, you should know. That is the first requirement. Now the second thing, what all? The first question that I'm being asked multiple times is, Bhaiya, I know data structure and algorithm, I know Java, I know C++, I know Python. Can I contribute? So here is the answer. You should have like C++, Java, Python. These are languages, right? These are not. These will be going to be used for a particular domain, a particular tech stack. But these core languages are not going to be useful directly, right? So you should have something like web development, mobile development, some applied machine learning, something you should have, right? So that you can contribute to a particular project and a strong interest. Yes, you should have a strong interest, because if you will be contributing to a project now, there will be a lot of guy from all over the world who will be contributing to your project itself, and there will be competition among you guys, right? So competition in a healthy competition. So let's say some other guy is very talented or very experienced, so you should have you might get demotivated, like, man, my PR is not getting merged or something. So you might get demotivated. That is where your interest will play your role, right? You should have a proper motivation, like, okay, I have to do it. I have no other option. I have to do it, right? So you should have a proper interest. Now this is GSoC 2021 timeline. 2022 timeline is not released yet. So I'll go through the what are the let's say what are the deadlines or what are the steps that we do. So first of all, organizations are applied. First of all, they open organization or applications are open and organizations apply, right? There are many organizations. You can search on Google, you can get there. I'll quickly show you. This is the website, Google Summer of Code website. You can go there, you can get to know about the organizations that were previously part of Google Summer of Code, right? You can get the whole this timeline here. It will get here itself. You can get the organizations, and after that organization is launched, you go and search for the projects, right? Once your organization is launched, you go and search for that particular organization, and inside that organization there may be multiple projects. You have to search for a particular project in which you are interested, which is your interest, right? Then you will like find a project that is your particular interested project. You will start you will first of all you will what you will do is you will just fork the repo and try to set it up in your laptop. That is the most important part. I'll tell you from my experience, when I have started, my project was React Native project. So in React Native, the setting up part is bit tricky because there are many modules in Node. So when I have started and when I was trying to set it up in my laptop, I was getting a lot of errors. I had to search and fix it. So that is bit trickier part to set up a project. Once you set up the project, that is, then you run it in your phone or something, local device. You just run it in your phone or local device. Mine was Android project, so I ran it in the phone. After that, try to find some small issues. Like there may be something that is good first issue. Like search for the interact with your mentors and ask what is a good first issue I want to contribute, right? Try to fix that good first issue, and then try to find some bugs. Try to like do not hurry up the process. Like take baby steps, and then you can once you are comfortable with the code base, then you can start. Then the student application period starts. Here you can apply a proper proposal. I'll come to the point, proposal point. Then application review process, and then student projects are announced. If you will be get selected, that's okay. Then the coding period starts, cognitive bonding is there, and coding period. Then I think from this year itself, there will be 2 evaluations, right? You have to pass both the evaluations, and after that you submit your final evaluation and result is announced. Okay, you have passed or failed. That is the whole. Okay, so this was about what is Google Summer of Code and how does it work. What should be your strategy? Okay, so first of all, shortlist organizations. That is the most important part. How to shortlist the organizations? So almost all the organizations that we have in Google Summer of Code has interesting projects and inspiring mentors, no doubt. But there are too many organizations. Like there are Mozilla, mine was OSCE, the Linux Foundation, and everything. There are many. How to shortlist them? So you have to shortlist the organizations. You have to shortlist on the basis of your interest. Like let's suppose I am a machine learning guy and I am very much interested in machine learning. So TensorFlow can be a good for me, right? If I am good at, let's say I was good at a mobile development or something, and OSCE is a project, 2 or 3 projects, that was a mobile development. So OSCE was a good for me. And here is a pro tip: do not stick to a particular organization. Yeah, at least choose 2 or 3 organizations. During my time, I chose, I think, 2 organizations. One was Rocket Chat, and the another one was this OSCE. Do not stick to one. Always take big backup, and then choose your organizations wisely. Once you have chose the organizations, go search for their projects. Simply, you will I'll show you. When you will select the project, you will go to the organizations. You will select the organizations. Let's say I select this about code. You will get to learn about these. These are the projects that these organizations have. These are the technologies that they use: the Python, Django, JavaScript. These are the topics. Okay, and there we have chat system where you can talk with the mentors. Okay, so go chat with their mentors, introduce yourself, say, okay, I am this, I am working this, I know this, and I want to work, I want to contribute. So do this. This is the first step. This is the first step. And if you will be getting stuck somewhere while setting up the project, you can ask in the chat room itself, okay, I'm getting stuck. I got stuck here. Someone help me. Like there will be many. Those guys are very helpful. They can help you how to handle those stuff, right? Shortlist them, and then you have to like you have shortlisted the organization, right? You have chose the project. You are contributing the project. Now the application period, you have to write a good proposal. That is the trick, because your proposal should be good. Because I was mentored this year, I was reviewing the proposal, and I know what all things you should mention in your proposal. Because like a guy who is reviewing a proposal, he is judging you, literally judging you by just 2 or 3 sheets, right? So you have to write everything, like what are the deadlines, how are you going to achieve it, what are the features that you are going to add, and what are contributions that you have done, right? You have to mention everything. A proper 6-7 pages doc you can make. I have my proposal. If you guys want, I can share it with you. You can make a proposal and submit it. So just write previous contributions, your amount, your commit, what are the architecture that you are going to do, how you are going to do, all the timelines that you have to mention there, right? Then after you you just submitted the proposal, and after you got selected, you will get a mail actually. So after that, you have to pass 2 evaluations, and you will be paid for each evaluation which will pass. Now, how to increase your odds of getting selected? The thing the most students fail to do: contribution, right? Any mentor will prioritize contributors over new people. So I always say always start early, and do contribute to your project, because mentor will see how much you have the knowledge of that code base in which you are going to work, right? And always have a touch with your mentor. Discuss with the mentors that what are you going to do, how to do this, and everything. Always discuss with your mentor. And before submitting the proposal, if possible, get it reviewed by your mentor itself. He will give you like what all you are lacking behind on everything. So if possible, get it reviewed and look behind the selection procedure. Like always talk with previous GSoC student, someone who has already done it. So he will tell you what all you should not do and what all you should do. So okay, so these were the things. What are the benefits? The one and the foremost, GSoC bragging rights. Yes, you got it right. GSoC bragging rights is what you get. You can brag about it, right? So okay, you get great stipend and you get opportunities with the startup. I'll talk about myself. When I have completed GSoC, I had got many requests in LinkedIn, right? And many were from a good startup also. They were asking me for, they were offering me a role, internship role or something. So you get to very good opportunities. And uh, if I talk about cred, so I think there also Google Summer of Code played a good role, because I got the call from the recruiter directly by resume. So resume shortlisting in top companies, that is the one benefit. You got a diverse discussion team, right? Many times you got full-time offer from organization itself. There are many organizations, Red Hat, and there are many, for Asia. They do provide full-time opportunities, right? Letter of recommendation you might get, and prioritized application for role at Google. Yes, we get LOR from Google, so that whenever we will apply to Google, we will apply any role at Google, we will get prioritized application. So okay, so these were the benefits that was about GSoC. Now let's not classify, let's not like Google Summer of Code is different and open source is different, right? There are many multiple open source program as well. Open source is not about earning only, it is about learning. So if you are a student, you are starting, Hacktoberfest is I think very good for you to like for learning purpose. It is very good. You will get a T-shirt or something. So that is very good. And apart from Google Summer of Code, we have Major League Hacking as well. That is also, I think, the stipend is very good in Major League Hacking, and the learning you will get here is very good. Like the standard is very good here in Major League Hacking. Many of my friends have done it, so I know about it. There is one season of KDE that is also very good for learning. Outreachy, Mozilla Winter of Security, and then you have many more open source programs that you can explore and apply for, right? I think P Club has also one Summer of Code or Winter of Code something. So there also you will get, look, this is about learning. First of all, you have to learn something, then you can apply anywhere. Now you have done Google Summer of Code, you have done everything. Now you question only, Bhaiya, I want a job, right? This will be a short time. I want a job. What to do? So in that time, you will be confused what to do, DSA or dev. That is the most common doubt that I have asked. So what to do? My solutions will be do both. Yes, do both. You have to like keep a balance between dev and DSA. Build some good project, explore, divide your time. That is the part, that is the key. Always divide. When I was in second year, I have divided my time. So I will do DSA also. I was doing dev also. Increase your problem solving skills. Build a good resume. That is very much important. And if you are in second year, you can explore different tech stacks. Like if you're in first or second year, just explore. You do not need to worry about anything. Just explore. Try solving question in code forces, code share for hacker rank, participate in contests and everything. Like you have the time to explore. So do explore, do dev, do DSA, because if after getting into a company, you are going to do dev only, right? In company, you're not going to do DSA or something. You will be developing something in a company, right? So you will be doing development there. And the most important part is enjoy your college. Yes. Do enjoy your college life because you will not get your college life again. So keep enjoying, keep learning, right? So now I'm open to the questions, guys.
My question is, how do we search for the project ideas? Like there are many project ideas, but that's only just based on the what we have to do for resume. But just I want to do it for fun or learning. How do I search for them?
Like you are talking in reference to Google Summer of Code.
No, normal projects like if I do a web development like backend or front end. So those kind of projects.
Why do we need to search it? Like, how do I make project? I'll tell you. I just pick a tech stack that I think is good. Like, what is interesting for me? I just pick that tech stack, and I just start to learn about it. And I don't pick a project that is already made in that tech stack. I just start from scratch, and I just keep learning about what are the use cases that I'm getting in my project, in my something that I'm building, right? I just search for that, I learn that, and I try to implement. So only conceptual knowledge is not going to help you. You have to be practical. You should know how to implement that, right? So if you are going to start a thing, do not search for projects initially. Try to build from yourself. I hope I answered your questions.
Thank you.
Okay, so Ritesh, there's a question. Sir, is it mandatory to learn all the stacks used in project at GSoC, or like if we know Python, we can apply with that only?
Yeah, I will tell you that this is not compulsory to learn all the tech stack. When I have started in React Native, I had no idea what React Native is. So you can, if you are starting something, so there is no need that you should know everything. Like you can start with basic requirement that I told you, and you can keep learning the things that will come into the project. When I started, I didn't know about a node and everything, so I learned and I keep applying that into my project. So do not think that I'll know everything, then I'll start. Do not think in that direction.
Sir, can you elaborate a bit more on the proposal for the GSoC? Like, what exactly should we do before we put in the proposal?
Okay. Yes. So if you are building a proposal, that should mention what all contribution that you have made, right? If you are new to a code base, then definitely you will not have many contribution. So you should have started very not very earlier, but you should have started in January or December. And you should like, what do mentors see in your proposal? They see that you have the proper knowledge of the code base that you are going to work in, right? So you should mention what all the contributions that you have made, what all the and the most important thing, what are your ideas? Like, how are you going to improve the project, right? How are you going to improve it, and what all are you going to use there? So your idea, your timeline, everything that you should properly mention. And also you can mention your personal project to improve your credibility, that I have worked in this tech stack and I know this. So these all are very important things. Like your contributions are very important in one word answer.
There's this question by Arjit. Do I need to have to increase my contribution to a particular organization that have a high chance of getting selected in GSoC?
Sorry, what is the question?
Do I have to increase my contribution to a particular organization so that I have a greater chance to be selected at GSoC?
Yes, contribution, you have to increase the contribution to that project. And I would say not only the number of contribution, like what guys do is they make a single line change, or let's say indentation change, and they make a pull request or merge request, and they try to increase the number of contributions. So that is not contribution, right? You have to, first of all, when you're starting something, so you can make a build, like change readme file or something, you can do that. But eventually you have to make a good contribution. And for increasing the contribution, your quality matters, quantity doesn't. So you should have made quality like contribution that mentors can say yes, इसने अच्छा काम किया हुआ, this guy can do it. So quality should matter.
Okay, I think those are the issues. Those are the questions. So I think we'll move on to the next lightning talk. Meghna, can you? Yeah.
Okay, guys. Okay, thank you, guys. You can connect with me here and ask me out. Okay.
Thank you very much, Ritesh. For our next guest is Madhav Gaba, a maestro in data structures, algorithms, and with an impressive track record in open source and GSoC. He has also made his name in corporate world. He is currently an SDE at ShareChat and has also worked at Goldman Sachs. He will be sharing his experience and know-hows with all of us. So stay tuned and don't forget to interact with him and ask him questions about DSA and GSoC experience. Over to you, Madhav.
Hey, hello everyone. How are you doing? I hope everyone is good. Like colleges are not opening yet, but yeah, like at my time, like this SFD used to be in college, and it was used to be very fun. So, anyways, yeah. So I am Madhav. I'm just like you. I joined back in 2015 UIT Panjab University, and I guess like most of you won't be from computer science background. Similar was for me the case. But yeah, like in my first year, I didn't know like what to do, what and all. So I will just share my journey, like what things I started from, and like how the things can help you if you like go in the right direction and not just the random things. So like you guys, I guess all of you must be from first or second year, right? Mostly. Yeah.
Second year, no.
Second year, first year, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So like if anything at any point seems like very overwhelming or something, just feel free to stop me and like I can explain it better. Hopefully I will try my best. So in the first year, like when I joined, like you must have like a similar fantasy in mind, like yeah, it's like similar to over 12 standard and all, and we need to like study everything like physics, chemistry and all. So just like take it light. So college is obviously, I know like you have joined, you might not know about the college much. So college is like not like your 12th or something like that. You take it light. Even if you study 2-3 days before exam, you will like crack it easily. Like I used to do that only. So just focus on like what you need to focus on is your basically your field is computer science. So you need to focus on your computer science skills. So in my first year, like as I said, like I used to study my semester subjects, like, and I later on I came to know that yeah, this is not going to very fruitful in my career. So I started eventually learning just C language in my entire first year, and yeah, nothing else I could do. So I just like focused on my CGP and all, and yeah. In like later on when I talked to my friends in different colleges and all, I started exploring what would be like actual things that would be required for like my improving my technical skills, and further like when we will be in our jobs, like what skills do they actually see, do they really see physics, chemistry or something like that. Yeah, that's actually no. So I started basically with some starting point of data structures and algorithms. So let me share my screen and I will show you step by step where you can actually start from, which websites, which YouTube channels that I used to follow. You can either follow the same or like if you have some better resources, just like you can definitely talk about that and I can discuss it. So if you don't have any background in like computer science, so first of all, I would highly encourage to learn about like just any language. So you can either learn C++, Python, C. For me personally, I started from C language and then eventually learn a bit of C++. And then actually only when you have learned a language, like you know how to take inputs and you know how to like print outputs, then you can actually deep dive into data structures. So this is the channel that I like the most in my college time. So these are like superb videos that I used to follow, data structure. It's like a quite
So you
big course, but you can like follow this channel, and like learn. Like, so the first thing is like whenever you like see a video, just try to attempt the same questions on different platforms. Like, not just that you have got the logic and let's say, yeah, I have crammed it, so that is not going to work. So if there are different platforms like HackerRank, Small GitHub, but I personally, from starting point, I would say start from HackerRank. So whatever video, let's say this video is on linked list, right? Right. So just find the similar questions on HackerRank and try to implement that. So you will like easily find any questions over here. You can just explore this website and you will find any coding questions and all. So just find similar questions on HackerRank or maybe Geeks for Geeks. So this is a very good website actually, Geeks for Geeks. This is like this website is not going to leave you in your entire computer science career. So like this contains all the computer science related stuff, from data structure and algorithms to web development, like some sources of machine learning as well, your aptitude in interviews, like interview preparation and everything. So you can maybe practice here as well. So whatever like your video you watch, just like complete it on Geeks for Geeks or HackerRank. So this way, like your mind will start thinking along the directions of like, yeah, how to approach this problem, like how to, like which data structure you use, which will be the most efficient way to work upon. Right. So yeah, this might take you a significant time. For personally, it took me like 2-3 months around to completely grasp this editorials and then actually implementing it and in-depth understanding. Not just that this is a 13-minute video and you will be a master of everything in this 13-minute video. It's not going to work that way. You have to actually explore and do similar kind of questions. Like I'm not sure like if you already know about arrays or something like that. So you might need to put an extra efforts in like reading the same from Geeks or anywhere else. So this was my first step. So also like in the last session, like as Ritesh was saying, so first off, like don't think, if you are in first year and you don't have computer science background, so I would not personally recommend to directly dive into open source contributions, because that is like you are trying to ride a Activa without knowing how to ride a cycle. So the first step is to actually learn a bit of problem solving in the sense how to use data structures, how to like implement some basic algorithms, like and how to, like, how many loops should I use for this any particular solution and all. So just don't be overwhelmed with everything, like that I need to do this and all. Just follow step by step. The first step is data structures only. Don't do anything until and unless you feel like, yeah, I am able to solve some sort of questions regarding like arrays, linked list and basic data structures. So personally, I didn't even know about open source till my second year. Like even in my second year, I used to like, let me come to that step. So after like I finished all these editorials from this my code school and implementing the same on HackerRank, I started with a website called Spodge. My friend in some other college recommended me, so I used to follow this. So this basically has a like a very good number of questions and very good quality of questions. So you can like sort out on the basis of the users and start like solving questions and all and all. And the more number of questions you solve, the more confidence will you have, and the easier would be for you to crack any job interview. Even in Google and all, they are just going to ask you DSA and not anything like, yeah, I have built this project and all, even in Google. So this is like very important that you have a very good grasp of the DSA. And this website I use, like I liked a lot. I personally solved around 250 questions on this spot, and it took me entire year to solve this, because there are a lot of algorithms. You will, if you are able to solve 200-300 questions, like I can guarantee, like you can crack 90% of your interviews. for any company, not even Google, Microsoft, Goldman, or anything else. So yeah, so the first step was this editorials. Second is like implementing the same on hackering, and third is like following a website. Ritesh was also talking about code forces and CodeChef. That absolutely you can follow them as well. They are like really good websites as well. And yeah, uh, another thing is to keep on giving competitions, like the live contests. Like it may be that you are able to solve a problem in 2 hours, but in an interview it won't be really be a 2 hour long interview that they are giving you 2 hours for just solving just one problem. So you need to actually practice, like keeping in the time limit that yeah, I need to solve this in 10 minutes. This is a very easy question, I should be able to solve in 5 minutes. So that thing will eventually come in you. Like when you are able to solve so many questions, then you eventually your speed will increase and you will not take too much time in solving any problem. So this is a website that I used to follow for a lot for contests. I never used to miss a contest in here. So you can check in which contest. So here you can see like yeah, these contests are upcoming. So you can just whenever it starts, you can start contributing. But this is only after once you have this is like I am talking about the stage when you are really you have solved around 50 to 100 questions on Spoj and you already have a good grasp of data structures. Then only you should step in. Don't just start directly from here. Like you might not feel like yeah, what is happening with me. So just follow step by step as I'm you can like if you want you can note down all the steps like I was started from the like first of from the DSA and then actually geeks and then uh, the Spoj or any practice website. So like this is also another website that Ritesh was also talking about, codeforces.com. So you can also find the problem set here and just practice any these are like difficulties like 800 is the least difficult like easiest, then as the points increase it would be more difficult than that. So you can practice from here as well. So practicing is not a foundation. Once you have like uh, started solving problems from anywhere, then you will be able to solve any problems on any website, so that won't be an issue. And now sometimes like these questions like you usually juniors ask like what happens if I am unable to solve a problem. So what we should do in that case? So don't feel demotivated or anything. It's very natural. When you initially start, you won't be able to solve much problems. So you might feel like yeah, this was easy, but I still could not solve it. So just don't feel demotivated. And the thing is, start a question, think it for at max 1 hour. Don't spend more than 1 hour. Even if in 1 hour you are unable to solve it, just go through the editorial. Even like in these websites, you can also find editorials as well. You can just in any past contest, even if you type online editorials for round this, you will be easily able to find. So just read those editorials, or maybe you can find the solution on the YouTube as well. Just watch the video and try to understand like what was the approach that I could not think about. Is it some algorithm I don't know? If that's the case, then just go ahead and read about that algorithm, and then eventually code it by your own hands. So in the programming world, you can't just visualize anything. Like this is the solution, I have seen it, I will do it. But that is not going to work. You have to implement with your own hands, and then only you will be able to properly understand like yeah, this was the and without seeing at the actual solution. Once you have seen the solution, don't see it again. Just like get the approach, what the approach was, and then start implementing it with your own hands. That will be really helpful. So what I used to do was like I would open any contest. Let's say this is a ongoing contest, and like I am able to solve like 8 problems. Last 8 problems I am unable to solve. So what to do in that case? So after the contest ends, just search for these problems editorial, and then as I said, read the like algorithm or like approach, whatever it was, and then actually yeah, like you will have a direction to think. Like if tomorrow a similar questions comes in that direction, you would be like, yeah, I can use this approach, and you will be able to solve it. So like technically speaking, I spent my entire second year solving these around 250 or 300 problems on Spotch, and side by side giving contests on CodeChef, and like this is a very good website as well, Lead Code, which is also a very good website. I used to like give contests here as well. Like every week there is a contest on Lead Code 8 a.m. in the morning. So you can like start here as well. So like the more contests you give, the more you will feel confident. Like the better rank you have across the globe, then the better you feel. So this was like regarding till my second year, from like starting from first year and to second year, I just dived in around my improving my coding skills and all. But yeah, like what's next? Like this is a very usual question. Like, yeah, I am good at DSA. So my suggestion is, for your resume, you can either start with open source contributions, as like Ritesh said, but it's not too mandatory. So like if you are going for if your aim is like big companies, they sometimes even do not ask about what web development or what backend development you have done in your past. I mean, it now starts according to your interest. Although like when you step into the company, you will have to like be a good developer, like and then it is like developing skills that is like you have to work upon. But in your college, you can skip that as well if you have. So this website, Code Forces, so there are ratings in it. Like so anyways, yeah, so there are ratings in it. This person has a rating of 3707 and all. So if you have a very good rating in these websites, the companies like Google, Microsoft, Amazon would directly call you. Even if you have no resume and all, they will see your name in these websites and will directly call you. And yeah, like, but for that you will need to be an extraordinary like problem solver. So you have to practice a lot every day. Like you have to solve some amount of problems, then only you would be able to reach at that level. So in my case, anyways, like I had an interest in uh, mobile app development. So I like started contributing in, like, I first off, like I talked to my seniors, like what's the approach, because I was new and I didn't know anything, like how to start from. So I talked to my few seniors and asked them the approach to like where to start actually contributing. So he guided me like how to start, and I would not go in deep dive, like because of a like from last presentation, I hope you have enough understanding like how the process works. So I just learned React Native and started contributing in 1-2 organizations, and then actually got selected in Aussie. Yeah, like I am entering in Aussie from last around 4 years, I think. Yeah, and so this was all around my like in my third year. Like I entirely focused on my development skills. So, but what I feel is I did a minor mistake in my third year, was that for learning development, I completely left behind my DSA and all. Although I used to do it over the weekends of 1-2 questions, but that is not enough. You have to be regular in that. Otherwise, you will lose your grasp. So what it same happened with me. I lost my a bit of grasp in my third year, like and in the end, like when the placement session was starting, so I had to like again brush up my skills. Like, I had to do like a lot of practice again so that I can come to my like level again. So it took me some like around 1 month, I think, to actually come back to that level. But yeah, because I have worked a lot in my past, so it like it was fruitful that yeah, at my time, like frankly speaking, not much of my classmates and all used to give a lot of contests, so I used to encourage them though. So eventually the number increased, and like some of my friends like started. So the thing is like compete among yourselves, encourage your friends to give more and more contests, and like if there is a competition amongst you, then you will feel, yeah, like how he is able to solve this question, why I'm not. So you will even try more, like, yeah, I should have an approach in that way. So yeah, um at our time, like there were not a lot of companies that used to visit our campus. So like I like could not clear the round of Deloitte, like group discussion round of Deloitte. But yeah, I got a placement from Gemini Solutions. I'm not sure like if you have heard of that or not. But yeah, then I applied off campus, and I got a selection in Urban Company. I hope you have heard the name. But yeah, like they're working in 1-2 months. I like got a direct call from Goldman Sachs HR. So it was like a very big company for me, so I could not say or no. And eventually when I gave the interview, so yeah, as I was talking, so Goldman Sachs is a big company, so my entire all the rounds were based on DSA, almost all the rounds, and weren't just regarding the object oriented thing, but mostly it was data structures only. So I worked for around like almost 2 years there, and then I have recently joined ShareChat. But yeah, like I am moving to DirectI soon. I'm not sure, like in your first year, you might not have heard these names, but yeah, like when you will be in second or third year, you will get to know these names in the tech world. So yeah, so even in like I'm being at this stage, like having more than 2 years experience in my career, I still sometimes follow lead code. Sometimes I do see some problems on like YouTube as well, like that I'm unable to solve. So I mean, this is like make it a part of your life, like because in a long-term career, this will be sticking from you um, till next 10 years at least. It will be with you. So the earlier you start, like it will be the better will it be for your career. Um, so I think like I covered most of the things that I wanted to tell. So if you have any questions, just feel free to ask me about that. Yeah,
Okay, so it's open for questions. Anyone who has any question can write in the chat box or unmute and ask that.
yeah, sure.
Good evening, sir.
Okay, yeah.
Yes, sir. Sir, I have a question. Like, sir, I sometimes get confused that, sir, does speed really matter? Like while we are giving all these competitions, like the touch typing thing, that is it like necessary for someone to do that?
Touch typing, I didn't get you. Like, what do you mean?
Sir, like, is it mandatory to be like a very fast writer, like touch typing thing?
Oh, that's
Like we are giving the competition, like does that matter too much, or should we focus on some this data structure?
If you are like initially starting, that's your speed will gradually increase. You need not worry about that. I had the same question actually in my first year. Like my typing skills were very slow. I used to type very slowly. But yeah, don't think too much about it. But yeah, like this will matter in the long run, because even a few seconds like in a contest do matter a lot in terms of your rank. Let's say if it is an easy problem and you got the approach in the first 1 minute, but typing it took you 3-4 minutes, and another person who is typing fast does it in 3 minutes, so he will have a better rank. But I don't think like at this point you should like care too much about this. This will eventually improve. So as like more coding problems you do, your speed will gradually increase. So don't care too much about that.
And sir, according to you, sir, what is the like optimal speed for typing for participating in this competition? Like the threshold, you can say.
I don't have a threshold as such, but yeah, my typing speed in my college was 40. But yeah, that was enough for me, I think. So you can say like you should have around 40, and you can maybe practice on some typing tools, so that will increase your speed. So yeah, I think 40 speed should be good enough.
And sir, I also wanted to know about your interview experience at Goldman Sachs.
Okay, so I like want deep down. I won't have a deep down on the questions that are asked, but I can just give a hang around like what type of questions were that. The first round was a coder pad round. In the coder pad round, there are like two problem solving questions that you have to implement, and so it's a two-sided. Like the interviewer would be able to see whatever you are typing. So one question was around dynamic programming. It was an easy problem. So that question is similar to a question in Spoj. I don't not exactly remember the name, but it's a similar question that I have already solved in Spoj. It's something on the same lines. And another question was like just ad hoc only, some basic problem solving. And then actually it was the second round was object-oriented programming, like question around C++ and all. And then it was an on-site. They called me Bangalore, and the questions they asked were like all DSA around binary trees, dynamic programming, and like 2-3 rounds were there on these grounds. And then the last one was on my resume, whatever since in my resume I have written that I know React, so they asked some questions around React. Even if you don't have like anything on your resume, that's fine. Like that is not an eliminatory round, but yeah, they do check something like if you are not lying on your resume and all. So if you want like a broader explanation, you can connect with me offline. I can tell you what exactly the questions were that are asked. So yeah.
Yes, sir. Thank you, sir.
Okay, so the next question is, for DSA, how many hours you should devote daily?
So there is no lower limit on that. So like when I started, I used to contribute around 3 to 4 hours every day in my night time. In my evening time, like in college, yeah, like when you will actually join, you will know that you need not study much in the college. You can pass exams easily. So the only thing you have to care about is your programming. So I think even if you are able to spend 2 hours, that should be enough. But just that, be regular. It's not like that you are skipping a few days, then in the long run it won't be too much helpful.
So should our focus be like solving more questions in a day or solving one question properly?
No, just that you should devote time. Like you should be able to think over the problem. Sometimes if you are solving easy problems, you might be able to solve 10 problems in a day. But if it's a difficult problem, you might solve just one problem. But that is equally important. Not solving more number of questions. It's like you should be able to solve more quality of questions.
Yeah.
So yeah.
There's a question here. On some days we are able to solve all the questions, and some days we not even one. How to cope with that?
Yeah. So same used to happen with me. Like sometimes in a contest that I am able to solve every question, and sometimes we are not able to solve a single one. So that is not a thing to worry. Like it might make you feel demotivated, but just that is only natural only. So if you are not able to solve a question, so there are like two things. Either you don't know the approach, like you didn't know the algorithm at all. That if it's a graph questions and don't know about depth first search and all, then you won't be able to do it. It's natural. So if you are not able to solve it, just like go through the editorial and make sure and code it by on your own hands. Like code it by and that again and solve that question in future as well. In like after 1 or 2 months without again looking at the approach. So that will ensure that yeah, if that questions come again like on some different lines of the same line, that you should be able to solve it the next time. So it's not anything to worry. Just read the editorial properly and yeah.
Okay, so then there's a question here. So can you please summarize the points you told? This will help.
Sure. Like I start like the first thing is learn a language. If you already know a language, then it's fine. If you don't know, then you can maybe learn C or C++. Then dive into the YouTube lectures of My Code School that I personally like. If you think like any other source you already know that is very good, then just go ahead with that. But personally, I liked My Code School tutorials. And then I started from like implementing the same problems of the YouTube channel on hackering. And then I started from sports.com. And while solving sports, I used to give contests on CodeChef and LeetCode, and Code Forces as well. Like Code Forces I started a bit later, but yeah, it's a very good website. You can start it from second year. Yeah. So I mean, yeah, this is the step, and eventually you can just, if you have solved around 200 questions on Spoj, you can just start from Code Forces only and skip Spoj from then on.
Sir, I had one query. Like, sir, you talked about Code Forces rating. So, like, a person has reached the interview stage. After that point, also, does the rating even matter? Like, around which type of rating he has on Code Forces?
So it all depends upon the interviewer. So like if I am to take interviews, if I see like if a person has 2000 rating, so I mean, yeah, like this, like I know, like I will be already be very impressed by, like, yeah, 2000 rating is not easily achievable. So like it will give a great impression on me, but I am not sure, like, because not every interviewer would have a look on your that context. But yeah, like
2000 might be a great rating. Like around, like, if I think there might not be a discretion if a person has a rating around 1300 or 1600 on Code Forces.
yeah. I mean, if you
But I
have,
think that much
but if you don't have, see, I am saying if you have a good rating, then it will give you a positive impact. If you have a bad rating, that is not going to give you a bad impact. If you, as long as you are able to solve the question asked in your interview, so that is nothing like giving a bad impact or something. But in terms of Google, yes, if you have a very good rating, then it's like already, like if you have around 1800 rating on Code Forces, then you can skip 2 rounds of Google. They call you on site directly. Instead of 6 rounds, you have to just give 3 or 4 rounds.
Okay.
Okay, so it was a great honor, sir, having you with us. And with this, we are nearing the end of Software Freedom Day 2021. And
Sir?
Does
Sir,
anyone have
more questions, sir?
Okay, go on.
Yes. Sir, I wanted to know that, sir, according to your experience, sir, is there any type of pattern in the questions the companies ask, like the most, you can say the common questions or the common like graph question or tree question, like a pattern, some pattern in their questions?
There is no any definite pattern that any company follows. It solely depends on the interviewer. But yeah, like if I talk about like very like complex algorithms in like graphs, like articulation algorithms and all, or maybe like segment trees and all, these are not frequently asked. Like they actually want your problem solving skills more instead of like an algorithm skill. So let's say if I have asked you a question on an algorithm directly and you already know the algorithm, then it's like nothing useful, right? Because you already knew the algorithm, you were able to solve it. They focus more on your thinking abilities, like, right? So there is no any pattern, but yeah, complex data structures and all are not usually asked in interviews.
Okay, sir. So sir, the basic motive is that they check your presence of mind.
Yeah, presence of mind. But yeah, like it's not like that you like you won't read algorithms and all. You should know the algorithm. But yeah, more often than not, they will see like what is your approach and all. Yeah, thinking abilities.
Okay, sir. Thank you, sir.
Okay, if anyone has any other question, they can write in the Discord channel. We have made a separate channel for the lightning talks, and Madhav and Ritesh can take your query there.
Yeah, feel free to reach out offline if you have any questions.
Yeah, it would be grateful if you can just drop your credentials in the, like social media.
You can connect me over LinkedIn. Yeah, let me share my LinkedIn. This is my LinkedIn. You can just send me a connection request and I would be more than happy to help you.
So again, I thank you for joining us. And with this, we come to an end of Software Freedom Day chapter 2021. I would just like to say at the end that open source is something that has been driving this community through thick and thin. And without open source, I don't think Linux would have been there. And as we know, Linux has been the backbone of every software developer here. So I just want you all to keep in mind that even though we are celebrating open source, you shouldn't take it for granted. You should do your part in supporting the community and contributing to it, and try to make a good impact in the world. So with this, I announce Software Freedom Day 2021 close. So thank you guys.